We're live.
Hey everybody, it's Keely. I'm live. Still with the kiss. A little stressed out today, aren't I, Jeannie? I came in, it's like,
Yeah.
lot going on this week. Yeah, I got a lot happening for me. So just super busy. We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's talk about some pretty samples that we have. Tina just finished this one. This is the Elton cardigan from Hoey Locatelli. We used Earth's 16 fingering and Kid Silk Haze for it. One thing that this sweater really demonstrates is the style right now is oversized and boxy. So with oversized and boxy comes back the drop sleeve for a reason, because when you have things oversized, your sleeve, your sweater's this big, it's going to come down here. That's why back, roll back the clock 5-10 years ago when everything was fitted, that's when you saw the set-in sleeves, because they look better than having that drop right here. You'd have the set-in. But if you have something fitted, or say maybe you have something with a drop sleeve and you want, I can't even talk today, a set-in sleeve, but you want to make it oversized, it doesn't work real well, because then you're going to have this fitting down here, and that's a bad thing. So really your type of armhole really is dictated by the fit. So you have to think about that when you are making something. So maybe you don't want it quite so oversized. Well, what's going to happen is what's with this sweater, one thing that we've noticed right off the bat is it has a very narrow armhole. And normally you'd say, egads, I can't get that here. Well, it's not designed to go here. It's designed to go here, around the smaller part of your arm. So if you are doing it maybe not quite so jumbo oversized, because maybe you don't want to look like you have on a circus tent, like as you get bigger, you might want to make a bigger sleeve. It's a simple adjustment, just make sleeves for bigger sizes, and that will make it big, because there's really not an armhole here. So it's very easy. Make the bigger sleeve size. So just some little design tips for you today, but we are in love with it. And yes, even with the skinny little armhole, I can wear that sweater. It will fit. It's deceiving, because you get a lot shorter sleeve when the sweater has more ease. And in case you missed it the last time, we've paired it here with the Darjeeling tea shawl that Jeannie did finish not too long ago. And it's also with the 16 fingering from Earth, 65 color shawl. Love that yarn. So soft. I think it was cashmere. And that's from Red Teapot Atelier. That was a tongue twister for me today.
And that one's crocheted.
And that was crocheted, yeah. Yep. That's for the hookers out there. We'll get to Misha and Puff in a minute. I got a lot to say about that. Tired. Coming up, you be sure to mark your calendars for April 27th. It's LYS Day. Love your yarn shop. We're going to have door prizes. We're going to give away a gift card. It's going to be a really good time, so please come out and show us some love. Saturday, April 27th. Mark your calendar. You know us. We know how to put on a party. It's always a party here. Our Mosaic Knit-Along is wrapping up, but we're getting ready to start a new one in May. And this is what we're going to make. We're going to make the Traveler Shawl from Andrea Mowry. We showed you guys this recently. It's the Traveler Shawl is what it's called. And we're using Spiral Grain from Earth. There's a lot of Earth today, and we're talking about from Earth. This is the sport weight. It takes 5 skeins. If you want a bigger shawl, you can use the worsted weight, and it will take 7. So you have that option. And that's going to be a fun knit along. We have a lot of dates just kind of packed in there on Thursdays and Saturdays through May. And then we're going to move on to something else fun. Focus on this first. The June one's going to be a lot of fun. We got everybody going, whee! Okay, Misha and Puff. As you can see, it's not here yet. But, I mean, it's a slow process. I don't know. Not everybody works like me, but there's just been slow checking in all the orders and then going through all the orders. This is at the distributor's end. Just how it works. Misha and Puff is just kind of roll back, explain what we're talking about. Misha and Puff is a ready-to-wear line that started with mainly children's clothes. They have that expanded to have women. A lot of their things are hand knit out of Peru with hand-dyed yards. So what they started doing was they would have mill-ins. Mill-ins are just extra yarn that there's not enough production to use to make anything with. They started selling that on their website. The knitters go wild for it. It would sell out like overnight. So they decided that they needed to maybe feed that a little bit more and have yarn available for the knitters. And they also wanted to get the real wool certification, which is a big deal. It's hard to get. It means the animals are treated fair and everything's done right. That's a big get right now in ready-to-wear, because that's the trend. People want to know that their things that they buy are made well and animals are treated well and the people are treated well. So to get that, they partnered with a distributor in the U.S. that's handling the yarn production end of that. So what happens when they produce the yarn is there's a limited batch of this fiber available. They have X amount allocated for the standard, for this label, for the entire year, and that's all they can get. It's something that can never be mass produced just because not all wool meets this standard. It's a very niche thing. So X amount of fiber. If they used they could use all the fiber up in one order, and then they'd have no yarn for the rest of the year. So they have to kind of space it out. Throw on top of that is hand dyed in batches. And of course the colors with the most play are going to get dyed first. That's usually how it works, because they just can't meet demand for, what Misha Puff needs for their production, what everybody needs. So the next batch just shipped, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago from Peru, arrives in the US. This is a US company, all of them are we're talking about. So there's 2 hunks of this. Part of it goes to Misha Puff, the ready-to-wear line. The rest goes to the distributor, and that's what comes to our shops. So the holdup has been at the distributor end. It's been a very slow process going through all the orders, getting all the orders to ship. I've got people, all night, that's all I do is talk to people in Asia and here. I do that during the daytime. Most people don't want to talk to me at 3 a.m. Unfortunately, Asia, that's when they're up. So that's all I've been doing. I've got tons of this ready to sell. And everybody's losing patience with me, and I'm thinking it's not my fault. I'm just doing the best I can. Well, we have confirmed that we're getting most of everything everybody needs, and it is shipping today from Philadelphia, so we should have it Friday. So Friday, I'm going to be busy because Jeannie's going to be gone, and I've got to ship out, hundreds and hundreds of skeins of Misha and Puff. Don't worry, I haven't sold it all. Now, when it comes to the new colors, there are 3 new colors. Alabaster, rose gold, and what did we decide? It was cider space dye. Changed the name between day 1 and day 2. Cider space dye. Alabaster and rose gold I don't think anybody's going to see those. Those colors are so hot. We just on the fly ordered so many bags of the new colors, not knowing what they were, because some of the new colors sell like at fever pitch and others not so much. And so we didn't want to go crazy and get stuck with the colors that aren't selling. But alabaster and rose gold are the hot ones out of this batch. I'm trying to get more to meet our needs. Our needs are so great, people wanting it. I don't think any of it's actually going to go on the shelf. But if you are like, I really, really want some alabaster and rose gold, call me, email me now, because get you on the list. I don't think I've sold every single one of them pre-sold, but it's getting really super close if we get it. That's the one confirmation I'm waiting on. Don't know if we're going to get the extra of that, but on the upside, we'll get it when they get the next one in 4 to 6 weeks. We get to start this all over again in 4 to 6 weeks,
Yay.
Jeannie. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I came in today, I'm like, I'm so tired. I need to get this one behind me so I can think about something other than Misha and Puff. So that's the deal, and that's why it is hard to get. On top of that, forget that it's a ready-to-wear line. Sometimes those you get, that's the appeal. And the yarn's just like yarn. Believe me, I've done this my whole life. I've been in this, how long have I been in business now? 31 years. Roll back to the 70s. That's how long Keely has been rolling with yarn with my mom. So I see yarn all the time. And I'm not saying we don't still get excited about yarn, but after a while, yarn is yarn is yarn is yarn. And sometimes some of the yarns people get so excited about, we're like, that's the same stuff as this that you're not so excited about. You'd be surprised how much, what label or marketing can affect people's perception of a yarn when it's actually the same thing from the same mill and just different companies. So we are enthusiastic and kind of like this sometimes. But I'm telling you, this yarn, I have touched how many yarns? I cannot count. Years, decades, handling yarn, more yarns than a human could possibly handle. I have never felt a yarn this great. It is that good, and it is a unique yarn. This is not something else with a different label. It is so nice to knit with. Jeannie, have you got to use it yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did the knits. Yeah,
you did the knits. Jeannie finally got to use them.
Nice.
We are using it in our beginner class for our knits. And is it not fabulous?
It is. I love it.
Oh, yeah. It's soft. It has an amazing hand. It's super wash. It's springy. It's got some oomph to it. I don't think there's enough adjectives I can throw at how nice this yarn is. And that's what I think is going to happen. Like I said, right now, a lot of the, craze for this yarn is coming from the Misha and Puff super fans. And there's a big hunk of them in Asia. And since I'm, think I spoke Japanese and Chinese, but that's okay. I'm the Asian whisperer. I know how to market to my people. I've been selling overseas for years. But when the knitters start really getting this in their hands, and we're slowly trying to get, once knitters are starting to use this, they're learning too. So it's going to become, I think, even more difficult to get. Don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could be wrong, especially some colors. But as you can see, I think the super fans all are knitting for little girls, and that's why we have a lot of blues and greens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the neutrals, the pinks, the fuchsias, those are the colors that are hard to get. But like say, these were the new colors last time that weren't hot. You know, the fuchsia and the autumn confetti wear, but blue and green. Poor boys. Nobody wants to make for their boys. If Mason was older, I'd make him some Misha and Puff. Okay, maybe. It's a little, what's the word for it? Very stylish.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if you're dressing your children in Guthrie, Oklahoma, you might look a little like you know, just dropped in from Europe. And people, what are the kids wearing? So, yeah, but it's very stylish. So think celebrities and how they dress their kids. I can't get away with that here. I think my husband would go, what are you putting our son in that's kind of different? But I love it because I love fashion. So I'll just have to pretend.
There you go.
Yeah, but I'll have to make me one. I've got a sweater for us that we're going to make once we get some more in. I'm waiting for. I didn't want to use up what we had and save some for you guys. Okay, I guess that's all now that I've meandered on about Misha and Puff. I know y'all will probably maybe get tired of hearing about it, but hopefully Misha and Puff Mania will be like shipped out the door, and I'll be able to show you something next week. I think we might actually have some fuchsia to sell. Shocking. I was able to get many more skeins than I thought, a lot more, because they have limits on how many I could get, but I went way over, so we'll have fuchsia. Jeannie will be glad. Maybe we'll make her a sweater in fuchsia. We'll see.
Oh, there you go.
We just might. I'll have to see what my mood is. Okay, till next week, and next week I'll have Misha and Puff to show you in person the new colors. Bye, y'all.